Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everyone. Go ahead and call this meeting to order. We need approval of the agenda for June 19th.
There's no additions and corrections. I'll move to approve the agenda as presented. Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of Monday, June 12th minutes. With the revised copy that we got with Scott's committee reports on it, I will go ahead and make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that.
There's a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, first item on the agenda is the fiscal year 24 workers' compensation insurance renewal review. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, Terry?
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you want to grab a chair, you can.
Well, I think you had in your packet, the
Real
information.
quick, I'm gonna stop you. Do you want to introduce yourself? Because I don't think Cindy has.
I
met.
did.
Okay.
Before the meeting.
Perfect.
To take those and pass those down. In your packet, you probably have seen that there was quite an increase in the work comp this year, and it's directly related to two issues. Your experience modification factor went up substantially, and the payroll was up about 11%. So those were the two factors that brought it up to the 20-some thousand of increase. And so let me explain the mod factor. Each entity has a unique mod factor. It starts with 1, and then if you're better or worse than average, it goes up or down.
Is that on the number of recordables?
Yes.
Okay.
And so the sheet that I passed out, there's a highlighted mark towards the bottom of the page that represents Carroll County. And IMWCA writes work comp for 80 of the 99 counties. And you can see, I think that that's about 36 if I counted right. So you're still in the upper half with a 0.78 mod coming into this year, which is very, very good. Last year, you can see to the left there, you had a 0.66 mod, which is amazing. You were like number 4 in the state for mod. The way that mod is created is this current year from July 1 of 2023 till today is not counting losses for this report. It goes 3 years prior to that. So what we call the current year is excluded, and then we look at claims for 3 years prior. And I think roughly we had 1 year, it was about $2,100 or $2,200. We had about $3,200 for the second year. And then this year coming on, there was about $130,000 of losses that came on in the third year. Thus,
Which would be 2021.
would have been 22.
Okay.
So that increased it. Currently this year, unfortunately, we're running at about that same amount. We're at about $130,000. So that will come on next year, not this year, but it's directly related to your claims. And
So it's gonna go up next year. Then.
yes, the mod will go on next year. And that's something that's created by NCCI, the National Council on Compensation Insurance. They have a formula that dictates the amount of premium that you have versus the amount of losses that you have. And then they.
So is there a department that's driving this mod more than others?
No, there was, I think you had one severe claim in there, and I don't want to get into specifics about any particular claim.
Yeah, it really wasn't like a pattern of losses. It was
Right.
big isolated incidents, essentially. So not
So there's nothing to, a lot of
Well,
times.
what I was getting at, there's one area that we
Right,
need to look at.
We do a fair amount of loss control with the county. I think Zach creates programs and they come in there and take a look at it. Like Josh was saying, if there was, 5 times or 6 times we saw like slip and fall on the sidewalk or secondary roads, or somebody slipped out of a maintainer or a truck, or if it's sheriff's department doing something, we could take a look at it. but that's really not the case. It's just, you know,
You said an increase in payroll, and what was the other one?
the mod, this experience mod went up. And what happens is as that mod goes from 0.66 to 0.78, that's 12% increase. The way that the IMWCA works out, as the mod goes up, they reduce the discounts that they allow. Right now, like I said, it's still very, very good. I mean, you don't like to see an increase. But like I said, you know, over half the counties in Ohio will trade you in a heartbeat for your mod. And staying down at a 6.6 is very, very, very difficult, because as your premium gets lower, any claim impacts it more because it's a larger percentage of the amount, I guess. So,
But, and that was on what years? So like, it's not fiscal year right now,
right, but it's the 3
21,
years.
22, the 6 months into
Yeah, I think it's
22.
19, 20, 2021, and 21, 22.
Okay, and do you know what it'll go to next year, knowing that?
We don't know, because
Okay.
these claims are open right now. It'll end July 1 of this year. And so then we can take a look at what those claims are. Some of the claims, they have what's called reserve set for them. We don't know. They just say, okay, we think it's gonna be this. And they set an amount, which is called a reserve. And then as the claim matures, they either pay out lost time, or medical bills, or it goes away quicker, and then they can adjust. So it's really tough to kind of come up with something.
So if there's a claim that's like in 22, and it's for $100,000, and it's open. Next year it's another 100,000, does that get changed that mod, or that's still part of?
It started the prior year.
Okay,
And we try to give these figures in January, we call it creating the mod. We have a meeting in Des Moines, and we usually get those, we try to get those out to Courtney. You know, so that you guys can kind of budget it. It isn't, you know, perfect science, but we usually have it created in the end, towards the end of January, so you'll know, then you just have to figure out what your pay, if it's gonna be countable, if it's gonna be an increase or what have you.
So outside of reducing claims, is there any other programs that we can be involved in to bring our costs down?
It is directly related to this formula and mod. So like I said, we do have loss control programs that all departments, I think, and the sheriff's department is constantly working to find WCA ICAP for safety things. Ken does an amazing job, as does Zach sitting there, and I mean, we've offered to come to the loss control meetings. But like I said, right now, there's no one current problem that's handling it. It's just, unfortunately, it's a big shock loss that happens out there.
If you ever want like details or specifics on claims,
We
you
can
can always contact our office.
Yeah, and we can go into a little bit more in depth on what it is.
Well, I was thinking of preventative.
Sure, and prevention is what we all want. We're happy to do things, and there's some programs that are out there. ICAP always gives us $1,000. It's a safety grant, so it can be anything from giving yak tracks to like public nurses so they don't slip and fall, or it can be vests so they don't get hit, or putting security cameras in, or anything. So, you know, we're all about trying to prevent it if we absolutely can, because our goal, their motto, if you will, is at the end of the day, we want everybody to go home safe. And that's what works best for everybody.
So back to the 11%. Okay, so a year ago, we gave 5.5% countywide to in wage increase. So how did it go up 11%?
I'm just
I mean,
going,
are you showing roughly
Well, there
between?
was staff added, there's full-time positions added, there's people that got more than 5.5%. There's more overtime, there's more part-time. there's more. We could look at payroll versus in those 2 years, and you can probably see which departments it was.
Well, no.
If you're curious on that.
Yeah. So if we stay the same, if we stay at 0.78 next year, if this, okay, so in 2 weeks, we expire for the year. So if it doesn't go up more than that 148,000, why wouldn't it stay the same? Our mod factor.
Because our payroll's going down.
but you're saying if your payroll stayed the same, your mod is gonna go up because it's created by 3 years of experience.
Same thing.
19,
Okay.
that first year in 1920, I think the losses that you had in that year are like $2,200, very,
Okay.
the next year is like 3,000
This one,
something.
it's a rolling 3-year average. Thank you.
Exactly.
All right, thank you.
So what's this minimum 6.66?
That's what they calculate right now is the minimum that you can get down to. So that's the
Oh.
best you could do if you had 0, 0, 0 for those
Okay.
3
all right.
years.
I was just kind of curious.
And it's a complicated formula, but it
Well, I know,
has to
I
do
know
with
it is.
what your total payrolls is. The bigger the payroll, the lower it can actually
B
go.
plus H plus E. E times G plus 1 minus G times F. Over.
It's confusing. It's beyond my pay grade to try to figure out that formula,
Sounds
but
like government.
we just plug in the figures.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So our increase to the county this year, it's going up.
20. Well, it was $56,272 in 2022. In 2023, it'll be $77,506.
So,
Well,
1,000.
and I don't think we're out of the norm for that year. Everybody's doing work this time. I think a lot of it's got with wage.
Well, like I said, because it's a formula of the losses versus your premium. The lower your premium, like I said, if you had $57,000 of payroll and you have $10,000 of the losses, it impacts you more than if your premium was 67. It's just a higher percentage, and that's what they look at. So it's great to get down there, but it becomes very, very difficult to stay down there. And, an account your size with, $2,000 and $3,000 is very, very, very good. I mean, that's, obviously we want 0, and that's in the realm of things, that's what we want.
Well, and there's things that happen.
Yeah.
They call that's what we call them accidents, or they call blank happens.
So. Any other questions that I can? And like I said, and like Josh said, if you ever want to sit down outside of this and go through it and dig into it and get more of an explanation, I'd be happy to sit down one-on-one with you guys to.
Cindy, that sounds like safety committee stuff that you
Sure
could
does.
be a starting point.
Yes.
I sat down with him on the property insurance a year ago. All the payouts that I had no clue the county was paying for damaged mailboxes, for windshields from Roxoff County trucks. And he gave me an itemized list. That was very nice.
And you've got my contact information, so feel free to reach out to Josh or I would be happy to.
You gotta look at through the counties that have more exposure due to all the different fingers and avenues that we work in. And we're all over the county. And it's not like we're a small bicycle shop down in center of Carroll, Iowa. That's not gonna have a lot of issues.
Right.
You got a high payroll, big payroll. We're just got more exposure.
You absolutely do.
But I do think, probably safety committee is a good opportunity to get that mod back down and try to.
Any more questions?
Thank you.
No,
very
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks. You always bring it down to,
What's that?
you always bring it down to an average guy's size.
All right, next item on the agenda is secondary roads. Good morning, Zach.
Morning.
How are you?
Not too bad.
Nice little rain we had over the weekend.
Take whatever we can get.
We've got a week of that.
Again, every 3 days you can do that.
All right, so you've got some utility permits and a construction update.
Yes.
Okay.
2 utility permits. First one is for Mid-American Energy. Section 7 of Grant Township. Basically boring a electrical service under 180th Street for a new home. Nothing out of the ordinary for what they're trying to do. Just outside of Carroll.
Do them together or separate?
We can do them together. They're both pretty simple. Second one is for Raccoon Valley Electric. This is in Grant Township as well, section 32. the southeast corner.
No, it's the only.
Carroll, this is getting across Noble Avenue with an electrical service, for conservation.
They're putting a, conservation's putting a pump up there to pump the lake up and down so that they can grow habitat and better fish and all that stuff.
So they have a well up there then?
I don't know how that works, but the DNR is doing everything. We just, the conservation has to get them, the power to it, and that's it.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve, both permits, one for Raccoon Dog Electric to Swan Lake, and the other one for Mid-America. Looks like 180th Street.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Update on a few different things. First, the bridge, they did get the open rail poured last week. That'd be the last concrete on the bridge, so they're just getting things backfilled, all the form stripped. Potentially open late this week or otherwise probably sometime next week, so we're gaining. Awesome.
And they're well within their window, obviously.
Yeah,
Completion date.
they still have plenty of time to, won't be any liquidated damage or anything like that, so. Also, if they have other places to
Get to.
they're not, they're, use whatever time they need, but they're still not, they're not leaving the site by any means, but they got time left in the bank, they can put it that way. Gravel production at Sparks. They started late last week on that. It's looking like really good material there. Planning to go to 80,000 ton down there with a partial payment in fiscal year 23. We have a little bit of dollars left in our January budget, so we will have a bill for some gravel from Sparks next week. We have one truck chassis that's gonna be here this week as well. We do have all 4 boxes, all 4 sanders, some of the hydraulic controls. Certain things we're able to get, other things aren't as available, so we're just paying for the parts, components that we can get for this fiscal year and trying to split it out, so we're about equal, 2 trucks each fiscal year. We're probably still gonna be a little bit light this year compared to next year, but it's within.
When's the next one following this one?
The other 3 chassis are scheduled to be delivered in the middle of July, so
Okay.
they're coming out, so
Yeah, 4 trucks to do and you can only can do 2 of them.
pretty much.
And short one mechanic.
So we're gonna, yeah. So you have trucks, new trucks sitting there not being utilized.
So we're gonna have lots of work to do.
What are those trucks? Are they 2023 international?
They're
Or
Mac,
Mac 2020?
I believe they're 2024s, but I'm not, I have to double check that. We have a little more drainage work to do, and patching in Maple River. We've done a substantial amount already, a little bit more to do. Then we'll be done with that. We probably still will come back and do some of the blow patching, as they call it, with the asphalt emulsion and chips to kind of fill in around the patching that we have done, both in Mount Carmel and Maple River. But
So the patch you're doing in Maple, and that was what, concrete then?
yeah, it's full of concrete we're doing now. We did
How
some.
many yards was that roughly? In both fours?
130, 140 cubic yards, something like that.
Wow.
Did a long stretch along by the cemetery there. That edge was really
I
bad.
didn't drive up in there, but I seen it.
That one was quite a bit up there, and then some down by Coster down by the corner as well, so. A little bit more to do down there. We're gonna try to improve the drainage down there a little bit and have a little more patch across the road there too, so. Gaining. Excuse me. And then the road improvement down on 340th Street that you guys approved here earlier this spring or this winter. We're hoping to get down there and start work on that this week as well, start moving dirt. get that taken care of, so.
Is that the one south, east down here?
Straight, yeah, like south, straight,
County line road.
yeah, right on Auburn County line.
Yeah. What do you have to do with the roadway?
Trying to remember how to keep everything moving there.
Like digging ditches out or?
We're taking some off the hill on the east side of Mahogany,
Okay.
like. 6,000 yards, something like that.
Okay.
So,
So you gotta go back in the ground quite a ways then,
less than 100 feet. It's
so we'll have a
it's not-
borrow expense for it.
Yeah, but,
Well, it's the same
we're,
property
we're,
owner,
we're same property owner, so he's,
and we don't have to deal with the one on the south side.
right.
Yeah.
Perfect. It should, we're looking at building the road up on Mahogany a little bit, but, at least it would be that much more dirt. And I think by cutting this out, we're gonna get rid of that snow trap. That's gonna be the big thing, so
So will the landowner remove the gate then, or is that the county thing?
we'll move the gate once all said and done.
Are you only going halfway down that road?
1,200 feet.
Okay, just
So, to get just basically, just
Top
past,
of a little hill.
just past where they're gonna build basically.
and then put a gate back in.
But the, yeah, because it's a level C,
Yeah.
level C the rest of the way.
So how will the grader turn around in their driveway?
Well, we'll put the gate past a little ways,
Yeah.
but then there'll be a driveway to the south, a farm driveway, so he'll more likely turn around in that driveway.
So it'd be in Ottawa County, basically, then.
Yes.
Yeah, I was hoping that you at least could go past that driveway.
Yeah, we're not gonna go real far just because it starts going down, then the gate wouldn't be visible, so I try to keep it up enough to make sure we got visibility. But enough to be able to turn around, so
Put that in road on or something, sign up.
there's already is back further on that road, so it's just people have to be used to.
Yeah.
Moving a little bit different, but the through traffic shouldn't change for anybody, so
Yeah. Yeah.
that's all I got.
Anybody have any more questions? All right, thank you, Zach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Zach.
The next item on the agenda is to approve Iowa retail tobacco permit application for rolling cigars. It'd be the dates from July 1st to, it's gonna be a year long, and I assume they're coming in for regular.
I don't
No.
believe so.
We approved it for Ag Drive. We didn't.
No,
do
we
anything.
approved
No.
them for
Oh, the country club. The
country club.
club.
That's like,
But
Okay,
that was just a certain tournament,
that was
right?
like a week or something.
Yeah.
4-day period.
So I,
Decided to do an annual one because there was other events that he might be coming back for.
okay,
And there's other counties that he is into, and they had him do an annual, event, which would allow him to sell during.
Different
Events.
events, yeah.
Because I did, we mentioned to him about the rag ride, and it doesn't sound, I think he's gonna be in the town of Carroll for rag ride, not.
Gotcha.
I see no problem with it. I'll make a motion to approve the Iowa retail tobacco permit for rolling cigars from July 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2024.
I'll second.
there's a motion and a second, any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4, to approve Right Ride vendor permit Fiesta Incorporated, and they'll be setting up at 11719 120th Street outside of Rita. They will not be needing an alcohol permit because they will not be selling alcohol. They will be selling
Pickles and Gatorade.
pickles, Gatorade, and oranges.
I make a motion to approve.
pickles, you get the coin. I'll second it.
There's a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5 is a manure management annual update for Tomka feedlot, section 35 Arcadia Township, and there's no changes. Then we're into committee reports, and I can go because mine's gonna be quick. Last week I was supposed to have Wesco, but they canceled due to a lack of quorum. This week I have nothing.
I can go next, Thursday at CCGP Executive Board meeting, we talked about Mercury Booth. Hub 712 update and also membership dues. And then this week I have Tuesday, I have CCGP board meeting. And Thursday is a refuge meeting and Friday is the SC. That's what I got at this point.
Hang on. Last week, Tuesday I had executive committee for the landfill. We had a member in attendance. Board member, and this week on Thursday, I'll be attending the refugee meeting with Jane.
CGPP,
No, that must be executive board. It's not. I'll be attending CCGP tomorrow at noon also. And at 8:30 Wednesday morning will be a meeting with John Dacey and Tony Beatty on courthouse projects.
that's just.
Yeah. That's right. That's all.
I can go. Let's see. Last week I had DCAT, I had a meeting on Thursday. And I will also be serving starting August as the new chair. Wish me luck.
Good job.
And Steve Smith, the supervisor from Guthrie County, will be vice chair.
Those were odd, but it was in person, it would be easier when you're done over the phone. Those are tough.
Yeah. And then I have a meeting with Molly on Tuesday to talk about training for that. Nothing new on hazmat. I have daycare, childcare today at 4:30. Nothing new on 911. Nothing new on preparedness coalition. I'm looking at, for safety committee, I'm looking at having the meetings directly after the EMS meeting, since a lot of those people will already be there. So that's my plan, waiting for some responses. I did go to the landfill, the solid waste last week. Just for my own learning, and I also went to the conservation committee meeting. And then we have a tour with the conservation tomorrow. One. That's all I have.
See, Scott was tagged in this, but update on the trail for conservation. They're starting from Maple River going to the, I said, Houlihan access. And they started grinding the trail. Then from there, they're gonna go from there to
Into Swan Lake.
into Swan Lake. Hopefully they'll have it done by the first part. We're hoping. For anybody that's wondering. Last week I had conservation on Monday. So I gotta pull this up. Tomorrow I have a tour with Cindy and Jason for all the conservation buildings and the sites and stuff like that. Wednesday I have a WMA meeting in Oakland, Iowa at 9 a.m. In the afternoon, I'm meeting with the city mayor to talk about or discussing that 2080 2-mile agreement. And that is it for this week.
Soybean.
Did not go to city.
Who's meeting with the mayor? Just you and
Yes.
Lomax or just you? Good job.
Learn some more.
Yeah, good job.
Courtney? I know we have a bill day.
So I have it now.
Yep. For the rate. Yes, sir.
Is the abatement all done upstairs?
Yes, so the upstairs, they finished. I didn't get the all clear on the air quality yet. Usually we get that, and I think they tested. But we walked up there, yeah, all the ceilings are gone. They do an incredibly clean job. I mean, you should all go up and see how high the ceiling is above the false ceiling. This is another
Up there.
6 or 7 feet above.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's worth a walk through today. Nobody's up there working. And then, for Theisha's soundproofing, where she is right now, her voice would carry into the hallway that goes to the 911 center. Jerry on Friday shoved a bunch of insulation in there. Now evidently you can hear her voice, but it's muffled. But,
I noticed that down there when they did that, there's a lot of voids up in that, along that ceiling.
he shoved a bunch in it. It's not perfect, but I think it might get him through till we actually put the real drop ceilings in and she moves across the hall for her forever home where Zach is right now. But I think it's good enough to get by. I asked Jean or Judge Baden this morning to give me any feedback if she had issues also. She said she had a confidential call last Friday and she went out to her car and took it just to be safe. But hopefully today they can 100% operate in the office space provided, temporary office space.
What's your meeting Wednesday for?
It's just where, John Dacey organized it with Batings and myself, just, it's kind of update. It's to touch base and perhaps go into more detail than the one all five of us go to.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to decide soon on carpet allowance for the, they ripped the asbestos out of the clerk's office, the asbestos floor squares is 9 squares. And means we're not gonna finish off right as of plans right now, where the clerk of court is on the ground level. There was allowance for carpet that could be moved upstairs and we'd still have money left.
And there was also a lot of carpet for that temp space that we're not gonna have temp space anymore, so we could. I gotta cost really anymore, we
That'll
have to
probably
do
be-
something.
It'll probably be on next Monday's board meeting agenda.
Well, we meet next Monday at 8 o'clock too, right?
You know what it is, you're correct. Yeah, so we will have it, yeah, we'll be able to discuss it then, but I bet it'll be on the agenda to approve, because they need to order the carpet to approve, to make sure it's the same lot. I can forward you an email. How's that?
All right, if there's nothing else, we're gonna go to the final item, which is closed session for Iowa Code Section 21.5 to evaluate the professional competency of an individual whose appointment, hiring, performance, or discharge is being considered when necessary to prevent needless or irreparable injury to that individual's reputation, and that individual request a closed session.
I'm very smart when you say that.
Yeah.
Go move.
Second.
Thank you. There's a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.